Hey, this is Ross Miller with The Verge. We're here at South by Southwest, and I'm here with Chris Roberts. He's the mastermind behind the Wing Commander series. He just got done with the Oculus Rift panel, basically talking about how virtual reality will make space exploration in the future, in the fantasy setting, even better. So how did you get involved with the Oculus, basically the project?
Well, essentially, I mean, I got involved like I think a lot of the other people that backed it. I mean, I was sort of tracking it because John Carmack was talking about VR, and he thought that this one particular prototype headset where he was working with this young kid down in California that had developed this thing, and it was really cool, and he was raving about it, and you know, he's generally not someone that raves about something unless it's good. So the project came out, and I'm like, this looks great, and from what I was building in Star Citizen, I'm like, yeah, I absolutely want to sit in the cockpit and turn my head around and feel it and have it all be there in full stereoscopic 3D.
How was it? We made that visit. What was it like to meet Palmer for the first time?
Great. I mean, he's just so enthusiastic. I mean, he loves this stuff. I mean, you could tell he's got, like, you know, I've got a lot of passion for like making great games or great space games especially, and you know, he definitely has the same passion for, you know, VR and making this experience that is going to just be taking you to other worlds and places, which is a big thing for me. I mean, my whole career has always been about building worlds and environments and going, and you know, when I took a break and was doing movies for a while, that was all about going to different worlds. So there was my old company Origin was we create worlds, and that's, I think with Oculus Rift it makes it easier to
much more immersive world.
Yes,
so to speak.
exactly.
So it's going to be compatible with Star Citizen on day one.
Yes.
First question I have to ask always, when is Star Citizen coming out?
Well, so Star Citizen's going to come out, the final version will probably go live at the end of 2014 or the very beginning of 2015. The end of this year, there's going to be the dogfighting module where you can fly the ships that you've backed, and it'll be more deathmatch in space. It won't have the persistent universe, it won't have the story, but we'll use that to sort of balance the different ships, get the feedback from the community, what's fun. You know, do things like, you know, maybe we'll have Oculus Rift running by then and you'll be in the cockpit.
Right.
And so we're constantly going to be sort of sharing builds of components of the game during the next 2 years. And then when we finally release it, it's sort of like we've been taking these components that we've hopefully battle tested and maybe gotten some of the kinks out and some of the bugs. And hopefully the final sort of full live release will be maybe more polished and stable than it would normally be. I don't know, we'll see, it's a theory, it's the first time I'm doing it.
Speaking of theories, one of the hypothetical game designs you kind of talked about in the panel was the conversation. Actually, we never thought about, like where you have to focus eye gaze like at a person, they know you're paying attention. Is that something that's actually going to be in Star Citizen? Are you actually?
Yeah, so that was actually a conversation method that I've been thinking about for quite a while, because I've sort of, for me, I did a lot of things in the old Wing Commanders because that's what I could do with the technology, and the technology's changed so much now that I sort of feel in a 3D environment I can render like really, you know, great looking, not lifelike, but pretty cinematic characters. And so I want to keep you in that moment. I don't want to be cutting away, you know, like in Wing 3 we had full motion video because that was the best way to be able to tell the story and that kind of thing. But and now I want to sort of put you in the moment, and I want it to be very much like it's right now. My experience talking to you is I'm looking you in the eyes talking to you, and you know, if I just sort of looked away, you'd be like, hey, are you ignoring me?
You're just losing points right now. You're just losing.
Exactly. So the way I'm thinking about the conversations in Star Citizen Squadron 42, which we'll have more of it because Squadron 42 is a sort of single player, more Wing Commander style component of Star Citizen, is you're sort of managing a relationship with someone. So it's not so much about quizzing them about A, B, C, or D. It's sort of you're managing, you know, like do I like you?
How much can you pay attention to?
Yeah, and also, you know, like I want to hang out with you, I think you're funny, or I don't like you at all, and you sort of manage that relationship, and how you manage them will depend on how they fly with you, and depend on how they will interact and act with you. So if you start to blow someone off, or you're rude to someone several times, later on, you know, they're not going to help you if you're getting a pickle in space, and they'll be like, you know, get lost, so they won't, you know, they'll just walk past you on the corridor. Whereas if you're friendly with them, you know, maybe there's a wingman that has, you know, is a great sense of humor and has all these jokes, and if you engage with that wingman and you sit down with them, you know, you get new jokes as the game goes on.
Chris, thank you so much.